Hello everyone, welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. So look, right there in that top left hand corner, you can see we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. Let me kiss the... Nah, seriously, it's a huge milestone. 2,000, 27 days ago, we hit 1K and we are around that mark. And now we're close to 2,000 subscribers. That's an amazing milestone. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's hit it before Bayern Munich are back in the Champions League in 11 days. But the point of this video isn't about my subscriber count or our subscriber count, because it's our community, guys. It's our channel. Alright, seriously, it's about Hansi Flick and him facing what's to me his biggest challenge as Bayern's head coach. We're going to see just how Hansi Flick handles the situation, especially with Pavard being injured. I think that's the situation. That is the situation. Now, it's not so much Pavard, it's the dynamic of the team. How does he manage that? How do players get used to playing with different players that they're not really used to playing with? Because sometimes people are like, why would you start the same starting 11? Well, you want players that know each other, that know how to pass to each other, how to just open up play with each other and just connect with each other on the pitch. You want those players to start alongside each other week in, week out. And Pavard is in the top 6 for most minutes played this season alongside Kimmich, Neuer. It's a ludicrous amount of minutes he has featured in this season. He's been so freaking overused, I feel like. I think Pavard was overused. You could see after that break, there were so many things that he started doing that I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And I felt like maybe that was because he was playing every single game, every single minute, and no rest. And I feel like maybe that played a little bit of a part in this injury now, but that's something that I can't say. I can't say, oh, if he got rest in this game, that would have happened. But I'm just suggesting what I thought of the situation. Flick is going to get to show us just how tactically, not only tactically, but also managerially incompetent he could be. But I think he is competent, so that's why I say he can't show. No. Hansi Flick will show us exactly the type of manager he is. If he manages the situation like a boss, you know what I want him to do? Personally, I'd like to see Kimmich a right back. Take Kimmich out of the midfield. Hey, bring your short out. Bring it over here. I was going to say the double S word. I won't say it. No cursing on this channel. Bring it over here. Bam! You're right back now. I feel like that's what Hansi Flick needs to do. And just Thiago, you get in that attacking midfielder, or not attacking, that central defensive midfielder position. Goretzka, you're in there. Kimmich, stay over there. You're not an inverted fullback. You can't go into the midfield to try and control the game. You're going to be putting in crosses instead of freaking long balls, okay? You're going to be putting in crosses. More crosses than Christianity. You're not going to be out of that right back position, all right? Stay there. That's what Flick needs to do. Because I don't want to see Odriozola. He is crap. Oh my goodness. Whose idea was it at the club to loan a Real Madrid reject? No wonder Zidane was like, take him. Yeah. Real Madrid didn't even miss him. They didn't even post anything to say Odriozola has left the club to Bayern Munich. Nah. No more Real Madrid rejects for us. I'm tired of people saying, James, get out of here with James. He's sitting on the bench. What is he doing for Zidanos? Foul! Snapping his fingers. Zidane has, taken James out of reality. Nah, seriously, don't be telling me let's get James and Bale and even Modric. Someone said Modric with a serious face. Nah, I'm going to punch the next person that says something like that. Nah, seriously. We'll see what happens, though, with the whole situation for Hansi Flick. I think this is his first major problem, in my opinion. I mean, of course, he was out with the entire season without Niklas Süle and without Lucas Hernandez. He managed that okay. Of course, you can say Kovac was the reason why Alaba was a left back and Davies a left back. Or Alaba center back, Davies a left back. I'd say Hansi Flick did well by keeping it and managing with it. I'd give Hansi Flick full-on credit for what he did with Davies and Alaba, because we know Alphonso Davies likes Flick and the system works for them. And the system was different than how Kovac played it. So we'll see with Hansi Flick. I think he can really show here just how good of a manager he is. Bayern Munich get unlucky in these types of situations where, you know what, we're looking good. God, we're favorites for the Champions League. And then we get one injury that could be the one that changes it. And I think that's been the case for so many years. But the best managers know how to manage their ways out of the worst circumstances. And Hansi Flick will show us exactly how competent he is. I think he's a very competent guy. He knows how to handle himself, handle situations. I mean, there's something that came out months ago. Hansi Flick was the first coach to go train in our stadium with no fans, obviously the empty seats, because he wanted the players to experience what it'd be like playing with no fans. Some people are like, of course, do that. But for me, that's sports science, because you want your players to get used to it. And not a lot of coaches do that. Not a lot of coaches think that way. They don't look at the little details. And Klopp is the same as Hansi Flick. So is Julian Nagelsmann. It might just be a German thing at this rate. But you see these managers micromanage the little details. They're not micromanaging the football that's being played on the pitch. They micromanage their players. They make sure their players are thinking a certain way. Like, for example, Klopp went to Liverpool and said, don't touch the Anfield thing before you get into the stadium. Said, don't touch it until you win a league title. And exactly, that's the little detail. Hansi Flick reminds me of that type of guy that would do that. So I'm really hopeful that Flick comes out and shows just how competent he is tactically, how much work he's been doing over the, just behind the scenes over the last few months. I want to see it, man. Flick has definitely shown me a lot. One thing I said about Flick is he tactically flexible? And then I think the Leipzig game proved to me, yes, even the Dortmund game, lockdown, you could see he changed a few things. There was something we had in the beginning where we weren't breaking their lines because they were playing a 3 at the back with their defenders, and then their 2 fullbacks were keeping Davies in check, and we were losing the midfield battle because Hakimi and Dahoud were all over the place. Not Hakimi, what's his name, Witsel? Was it Witsel in there? I don't think it was, but they were all over us. Emery Chan, yeah, they were all over us. And we were losing the midfield battle, and then their wingers were coming in and drawing Davies in, and then Hakimi would make an overlapping run. They were building and just removing our press and rendering it useless so easily. But then Flick changed something. I think he made Goretzka and Kimmich and he spread the pitch. He made Dortmund have to move. He made Kimmich and Goretzka move into the space, which is how Kimmich got that goal. They staggered the lines, so it meant that Dortmund had to pretty much, their shape was like, it went from straight to this, like a little horizontal line, but then it went to a diagonal. And that was something that I noticed in the game. And then the first goal we scored came from pressing quickly, getting the ball right in that space. Davies passed it to Kimmich after we pressed them, and then Kimmich got the goal. That's tactical masterclass. Like, of course, it's a brilliant goal from Kimmich, but that's tactically just so brilliant from Hansi Flick. And I noticed that in the game. Even when we played Dortmund, the 4-0 one, was it 5-0 or 4-0? I think it was 4-0. That was such a great performance. I think that's probably one of my favorite performances under Hansi Flick. That was, or the Chelsea game was maybe just, the Dortmund game was better. Because what happened in that game was Dortmund tried to stifle us, but we went. Actually, it wasn't even that tactical. It just came out with a new energy. The players just had a new aggression about them. They were pressing Dortmund for 90 minutes straight. It was so fun. And since Hansi Flick took over, I think Bayern have led the charts for most pressures in Europe and most successful pressures, etc. We're way ahead of Liverpool and Man City and PSG, teams that you typically think about when you think about pressing. I don't know. Bayern are up there. I mean, Nagelsmann isn't even close to us when it comes to pressing. I think we're the best team pressing-wise in the league. And you can just see these numbers and you're like, man, Bayern, dang, we work hard. But it's also a tactical battle. And I'll see how Hansi Flick handles this, because it really will show us how great of a coach he can be for us. He already is. He's already an amazing manager. You know what, with Hansi Flick though, if he wins this Champions League, this is what I'm going to say. This board has to give him a big signing. They have to. You know, the problem with Bayern since Jupp Heynckes left was that we didn't strengthen that well. We didn't do that. I think most champions, look at Real Madrid. What Real Madrid do is they gather up their money for maybe 8 years, 5 years, and then they sign the Galacticos. Those are what the players are called, the Galacticos, the Gareth Bales, Cristiano Ronaldo. When people were like, why did they spend 70 million on Cristiano Ronaldo? 4 Champions League later, it made sense because they invested into an entire era at their club. And I feel like Bayern doesn't do that sometimes. Sometimes people want us not to do that. People don't want us to do so-called big money signings. For me, if you're buying a player for 100 million, and that player's 20, you're buying an entire 10 years worth of a player. You're not just buying anyone. You're buying a player that could potentially be world class for 10 years. You're buying a youngster that's already at the level that you require. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't really look at clubs that spend 100 million, except on the Neymar thing. That was stupid. They spent 200 million on Neymar, and I was just confused. 135 on Mbappe, but it doesn't look so low now because the club that's going to get Kylian Mbappe is going to have to pay up a lot of money, like 200 million at this point, to get Mbappe. You know how crazy PSG did it with? So I always felt like Bayern didn't strengthen, and if Hansi Flick wins the Champions League with this squad that we all know wasn't good enough to win it, this squad 1-11 is the same squad that was losing to Liverpool. There aren't that many additions. Pavard, different from Rafinha, that's pretty much the only change. Right, we still have Gnabry, Coman, Perisic. We still don't have... Sané, he isn't part of the squad in the Champions League. If you look at this squad, this is the same squad that was underperforming. Maybe you can say the performances of Davies, etc. really heightened us. But I don't think Davies would have been as good as he was if we didn't get Hansi Flick, who actually uses him very, very well. I don't know, man. I just feel like people just don't understand sometimes just how good of a manager Hansi Flick is, because he's actually overachieving. He's overachieving. Last season, we shouldn't have won a double. We actually robbed. That's the biggest robbery ever. We made Dortmund drop 9 points, guys. Right, we didn't deserve that title. I don't even think we won the title last year. I would like to think we didn't, because I don't know how Dortmund bottled that. But of course we did, and it came down to hard work and the players, not the manager. But Hansi Flick has gotten the exact same squad that was underperforming, 7 points behind in the league, etc., to really perform above a level that anyone else in Europe is just looking at and going, whoa. And doing this while playing a beautiful style of ball and an amazing intensity to it, and keeping key players happy and rejuvenating players like Jerome Boateng, Manuel Neuer, and Thomas Muller. I'm not going to say Hansi Flick is going to handle the Pavard situation crap, because I know, based on the evidence, he has handled every situation thrown at him with perfection. The guy literally had his squad training for the Champions League just because he wanted to get them to play in an empty stadium. How many managers could do something like that or think in that sort of direction? And for me, that's what makes Hansi Flick such a great manager for Bayern already. If he wins the Champions League, that's just the icing on the cake. And I hope that board actually is like, yeah, you know what? We won the Champions League. Let's invest. Let's get us some ballers. Yeah, Kluivert's going to Chelsea. I hope we get Dominic Szoboszlai. Hopefully that happens. He would fit us he'd fit us well, decent. But he's more of a traditional cam where Thomas Muller, I want a cam just like Muller, and I felt like Havertz was that for me. Szoboszlai, I don't really feel like he really fit our system. He likes to just drop in and build up from the back. He looks like that type of cam. He likes to dribble, be on the ball, take a lot of touches, lose the ball. Whereas Havertz and Muller are about the space awareness. They move. Havertz wants the ball, but I think he's probably better moving off the striker and trying to score a goal or create space. Don't know, but thank you everyone so much for watching. Hopefully this made sense. I hope Hansi Flick gets through this. Pavard loss is going to be big. Hansi Flick will have a big challenge against him. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia san mia and peace.